Step 1 of looping music in Adobe Premiere Pro. So first thing to do is make sure you've got a track that can be looped. The good news is that there are some websites out there where they're specifically made for editors. They're made for video editors, and the people that upload songs to those websites make their songs to be chopped up, to be cut up and reshaped and everything like this. Premium Beat or the Music Bed or Audio Jungle, Audio Network. Have a look at the waveform of the song to pick out where the chunks start and end. So by chunks, I mean different paces within the song, okay? So within the song there'll be the fast bit, the slow bit, the heavy bit, the light bit, the bit with horns, the bit without horns, the bit with a drum line or a bass, whatever. The song will be divided up into different kind of chunks based on what the musician wanted to do. So if we listen to this one now, we need to pick out where these chunks happen and put a marker there with the M tool, okay? So let's go through, press play, here we go, M. So M, there we go, there's one marker there. Another one a bit later. Here we go. M. We're into the horn chunk now, okay? So there's a new chunk. Go for a bit more. 4, 3, 2, 1, M. And this soft chunk ends here. 1, M. New chunk. Blah, blah, blah. So we've got enough chunks there to play around with, okay? Color code them so they can be really easily recognized. So double click, make this one red, make this one pink, yellow. You don't need to do this stuff with the markers, but the color coding really helps. I promise you it'll be easier if you can color code it and you can see how they're different just from looking like that. You're going to want to drag the marker to extend it so it fits to an entire chunk of the song. So hold Alt, click and drag to the next marker. There we go. So that's that chunk there. So we've got 3 chunks here, the kind of standard part, the horn part, and the soft part. Next part is kind of one of those things that separates a good editor from just a random everyday bodge job editor, is you fit the music to your footage. Cool, so looking at our footage here, we've got the first couple bits here, quick cut, kind of fast paced shots of the flashing numbers on screen, got the musical instruments going in close up, got some shots of the fountain spraying, quite a bit kind of fast. Next we've got slower, and the final kind of scene for this little project is this guy very slow looking over the horizon. We can't even see his face, so it's not a very intense clip. So just like before we did with the music, we're going to want to mark the footage for how that fits with the different pace of the song, okay? So the way I like to do is I match up the colours to the colours here. That will just make it easier to identify straight away, okay, we've got the faster bit here, we've got the kind of horn part here, we've got the slow part here. Cool, now's the fun part. Let's actually drag the music in to the timeline. Next part, cut the song into chunks, all right? We've got the blade tool here, click on the marker, and then on the marker again, and then get rid of that bit at the end. There we go. So now we've got 3 chunks of music. It doesn't have to be exact at this point. This is very rough at this moment, that's fine. We're going to loop it properly with some real precision in a minute. Okay, first bit, match up the red to the red. Here we go. So let's play a little bit. This is what it sounds like. And on the first bit, there we go. It starts correctly right on the first frame, but it doesn't end in the right place. Look. So we get to the end here, and the music's still going into the forest. It's not going to work. So what we do there is we find where the song loops in the very first instance, okay? There. So on that beat, one more time. There. So on that beat, okay? So back a little bit, and then we cut there, okay? Delete the rest. Go back again, and we find the start of that chunk. There, on that beat. And cut there, okay? So now we duplicate it, which you can do by holding down Alt and clicking and dragging, like that. Then you click and drag and move them exactly correct. And let's have a listen. That's a perfect loop. There we go. Now you can do this infinite times. Now you can loop again and again and again. Here is the next problem then. So we've got this purple chunk here, but it's not long enough. When we reach the end, there we go. it cuts off. So to do that, same concept again, match it up at the start. And then on there, that's where the kind of the bar ends, okay? Delete that bit. Hold Alt, duplicate, and then match up. Hold Alt, duplicate, and then match up like that. Let's test to see how it goes. That's a little bit fast. You hear that? One more time. Okay, so to do that, we move both 1 frame, 2 frame to the right. Extend the first one. Now that feels a bit better. Maybe are we there yet? We're almost there. So to solve that problem, we right click, apply default transition, and then just shorten it like that. And let's listen. And that sounds a lot better. Let's do it again over here. So 2 frames to the right, extend it, and then right click, transition, shorten. And there we go, perfect. So sometimes you need to add in a little frame to cover a sudden beat that just comes out of nowhere. And here we go, the last one. So yellow, the slow bit, again, match up the start, zoom in. Same problem, the music isn't long enough, so we'll have to loop it. There, find the right ending, cut it with the blade, delete the last bit, Alt, duplicate, and close the gap. Let's test it. Again, there was a symbol at the start carrying over from the last chunk. So to hide something like that, you need to do a third thing, which is adding a transition and then slightly moving the transition towards the right with the rolling edit tool. Okay, so there we go. So that sounds so smooth now. And same thing again. Alt, duplicate, close the gap. And to this you've got to give yourself a few extra frames at the start. You see what I did there? Because we've just cut the start short here by slipping to the right, by rolling the edit to the right. So give yourself a few extra frames at the start and do the exact same process. So right click, transition, test it out. Carry it over again because we've got that symbol from the last chunk. There we go. And here's the last part, tidying up the footage to match the audio, because ultimately the audio is the spine here. So we need to make everything else kind of fit around it. We can't have the music pause for a second while the footage kind of ends. No, we've got a few extra bits here. When does it go? There, it goes black there. Okay, so back. Cut there. We've got these extra frames here. So that could be hidden with maybe taking off some of the fountain bits there, putting that to the end. There we go, that should be fine now. Bring the next chunk to the last chunk by closing the gap like that. Let's see how this sounds from chunk to chunk. So we're a bit fast again, so 1 frame to the right, drag all the visual and the audio, listen again, hear that again with the symbol. So once again, just right click, so once again, right click the transition, apply transition. There we go, smooth as hell. If you want to be really fancy, bring the cut of the trees to the last cut like that. Bring the last chunk to the one before. Just 1 frame out, I think, maybe 2. Highlight the visual and the audio, close the gap. Again, there's a tss. So, what's our classic trick? Add a transition. There we go. So there was a bit of a abrupt end there from the purple to the yellow. So for that, we do our rolling edit tool again, back a few frames. Let's see how that sounds. Oh, there we go. There it is. Look at us leading to that sunset with a nice, smooth, quiet, soft bit of music. Perfect. That was how to loop music on Premiere Pro. My name is George, this is Jam Punch Storytelling, and I'll try to do one of these tutorials as well as my recap videos every week or so. So, click the like button if it helped you, and I'll see you next time.